Ultra expanded, minimum 50,000 words leveled, deep detailed script title. My parents tried to destroy my wedding by telling my fiancé abandoned a child until she appeared in front of everyone. Hook. Beginning. Extended deep detail. I stood alone in the elegant bridal suite, the morning sunlight gently filtering through the sheer white curtains, casting a soft golden glow across the room. My fingers slowly traced the delicate lace and intricate pearl beading on my wedding gown. It was everything I had dreamed of, elegant, romantic, timeless. Yet my heart felt heavy, as if some invisible storm was approaching. My name is Sophia Reynolds. I am 30 years old. For most of my life, I lived in a beautiful cage of expectations, wealth, and conditional love. My father, Victor Harrington, was a powerful real estate magnate, tall, imposing, with a voice that commanded rooms. My mother, Eleanor Harrington, was the picture of refined elegance, always perfectly dressed, always aware of every social detail. Our family home was a sprawling lakeside mansion, filled with expensive art and silence. Love in our house was never freely given. It was earned through perfect grades, perfect behavior, and perfect appearances. I learned very early that any mistake could cost me their affection. Then Daniel came into my life like a gentle breeze after years of cold wind. Daniel Whitaker, a self-made architect. Strong hands that had built his company from nothing. Warm, brown eyes that saw straight into my soul. He didn't care about my last name or my family's money. He loved the real me, the girl who secretly cried during sunsets, who painted abstract emotions on canvases at 3 a.m., who dreamed of a loud, messy, love-filled home with children running around. We met 3 years ago at a charity gala. He was there as a sponsor for underprivileged youth in architecture programs. I was there because my parents forced me to attend. Our eyes met across the room, and something in me shifted. For the first time, I felt seen. Our love story was slow, deep, and beautiful. He proposed 8 months ago on a quiet beach at sunset. He got down on one knee, the waves softly kissing our feet, and said, "Sophia, I don't want the perfect version of you. I want all of you, the light and the shadows. Will you build a life with me?" I said yes with tears streaming down my face. The wedding planning was magical. We chose a beautiful historic church by the lake. White roses and peonies for decorations. A string quartet. My dress was custom made. Everything felt like a fairy tale, but my parents were never truly happy. They smiled in front of Daniel, but behind closed doors, they criticized everything: his background, his lack of old money, his ordinary family. I ignored the red flags. 2 weeks before the wedding, the tension in the house became unbearable. My mother avoided eye contact. My father was unusually quiet. Late-night phone calls stopped when I entered rooms. I told myself it was just wedding stress. I was wrong. The night of our rehearsal dinner arrived. The grand hall was breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers sparkling. Thousands of fairy lights twinkling like stars. Tables adorned with fresh white flowers. The air smelled of roses and hope. Daniel held me close as we danced our first dance as fiancés. He whispered in my ear, "I can't wait to spend every tomorrow with you, Sophia." My heart was full. Then my parents approached us with tight smiles. "Daniel, dear," my mother said sweetly, "could we speak with you privately for a moment? Just family matters." I felt a strange unease but let them go. 25 minutes passed. Each minute felt like an hour. When Daniel returned, his face was pale. His eyes, usually so full of warmth, were clouded with shock, confusion, and deep pain. He gently took my hand and led me to a quiet balcony overlooking the lake. "Sophia," his voice cracked, "your parents just told me something. They said when you were 18 you had a baby girl, and that you abandoned her. They showed ME hospital records and adoption papers. Please tell me this isn't true." In that moment, my entire world shattered into 1,000 pieces. Let me take you back 12 years, to when I was 18. I was a quiet rebel. On the outside, the perfect Harrington daughter. Inside, I was suffocating. I met Alex at university. He was kind, creative, and made me feel free for the first time. Our love was passionate and real. When I found out I was pregnant, joy and terror mixed inside me. I told my parents, hoping for support. Instead, I faced cold calculation. My father's words still echo in my nightmares. This is completely unacceptable, Sophia. You will terminate this or give the child up for adoption. If you choose to keep it, you will be cut off financially, socially, and emotionally. No trust fund, no education support, nothing. My mother added with tears that looked real but felt fake. Think of our family name, darling. This mistake will destroy everything we've built. I was young, scared, completely dependent. After days of emotional manipulation, threats, and isolation, I broke down. I agreed to the closed adoption. The day I gave birth was the hardest day of my life. They only let me hold my baby girl for a few minutes. She was so tiny, so perfect. I kissed her forehead and whispered through sobs, I love you, Lily. Mommy is so sorry. I will find you one day. I promise. They took her away. The grief that followed was all-consuming. I fell into deep depression. I barely ate. I cried in the shower for hours so no one would hear. I wrote hundreds of letters to my daughter over the years. Letters I kept hidden in a locked wooden box under my bed. Every birthday, every holiday, I lit a candle and cried alone. I searched quietly through legal channels. I saved money. I never stopped loving her. When I met Daniel, I fell deeply in love. I wanted to tell him everything, but fear kept me silent. I kept thinking after the wedding, when I find her, when I'm stronger. My parents had been monitoring me the entire time. They had kept every document, every record. They were waiting for the perfect moment to strike. After Daniel confronted me that night, I broke down completely. I told him every painful detail. The ultimatum, the fear, the depression, the letters, the endless guilt. I cried until I had no voice left. Daniel was hurt. Deeply hurt that I hadn't trusted him with my biggest pain. He said he loved me but needed time to process. The next 10 days were absolute emotional torture. My parents started a calculated smear campaign. They called Daniel's family. They met our friends. They showed documents. My mother cried fake tears, saying they were only trying to protect him from my troubled past. My father warned him that I would abandon our future children too. I felt completely destroyed. The daughter who had spent 30 years trying to earn her parents' love was now being publicly humiliated by them. I stopped sleeping. I barely ate. I told Daniel again and again that I would understand if he wanted to leave. But in another city, my 12-year-old daughter Lily had been searching for me too. The wedding day arrived with bright sunshine and a gentle breeze. The historic church was filled with the fragrance of hundreds of white lily and roses. Sunlight streamed through the beautiful stained glass windows. Guests filled the pews. My heart was pounding as I walked down the aisle on my father's arm, the same man who had caused all this pain. Just as the minister began, the heavy wooden doors opened. A beautiful 12-year-old girl with long dark wavy hair, wearing a soft cream dress with gold details, stepped into the aisle. She looked exactly like me at that age. Complete silence fell over the church. Lily walked slowly toward me, holding an envelope and an old photo. When she reached the front, tears filled her eyes and she said clearly, "Mom, I found you. I know the truth. They forced you to give me up. You never abandoned me. I love you." I dropped to my knees in my wedding gown and pulled her into my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. 12 years of pain, love, and longing poured out of me. Lily hugged me tightly and whispered, "It's okay now, Mom. We're together." Daniel came down from the altar, tears streaming. He knelt with us and said, "Lily, I want to be your father. Welcome home." The truth was exposed in front of everyone. My parents sat frozen, their faces pale with shock. Guests whispered. Many looked at them with disappointment. Several relatives stood up and moved away. The grand ceremony was paused that day. Healing began instead. In the following months, my parents faced real consequences. Many in our social circle distanced themselves. Their reputation suffered. They tried to apologize many times, but I kept strong boundaries to protect my new family. Daniel and I married 2 months later in an intimate garden ceremony. Lily was our flower girl. Daniel legally adopted her. We became a complete family. Today, our home is filled with laughter, painting sessions, and love. Lily calls us mom and dad. We are healing together, one beautiful day at a time. If your own family has ever betrayed you, please remember, real love is not defined by blood. It is defined by choice, kindness, and truth. Your past does not disqualify you from happiness. Your courage makes you worthy. This is Sophia Reynolds. This is how my daughter saved my wedding and my life.